Celeste, a challenge fit for kings. This was a hell of a game. So this is an indie puzzle platformer from a few years back. I think it was around 2018 this one came out. And this is a game that has a really interesting and in-depth story, much more than I was going to give it credit for when I first played it. You play as Madeline, who is this girl looking to climb the Celeste Mountain, which is a hell of a task in and of itself. And in the process, she is going to face every ounce of her inner demons manifest in physical form. Along the way, she meets a lot of fun characters like Theo, who is this Instagram star, I guess, or someone who aspires to be anyway, who's also climbing the mountain. There's an old woman who lives on the mountain. The story is actually surprisingly pretty in-depth and enjoyable. I really liked getting to know the characters, and I feel like they did a pretty good job of, in what is a short time. I mean, this game took me about 6 hours to beat. They do a pretty good job without really overloading you with, cutscenes or overabundance of dialogue. There's really only one sequence I can remember, which I think was the beginning of the chapter 6, I think it was, which had a long dialogue tree. Most of the time, they were like less than 3 or 4 minutes whenever they would pop up. But the meat of the game, let's talk about the meat of the game. The meat of Celeste is the climbing of this godforsaken mountain, which is, it's a struggle. This is very similar to games like Super Meat Boy, if you've ever played anything like that, where it's just a trial and error puzzle platformer. You gotta attempt these perfect sequences to jump between. Mastering the skills you learn along the way. It is a very rewarding game, but it is no doubt very difficult. I had a lot of frustration, playing it, but that's kind of the way of the game. I think if you play this kind of game and you don't get angry and you don't get frustrated, you might have something wrong with you, because this is that kind of game. It's a game that you test yourself. You put every ounce of your brain to the test. You may fry a few brain cells in the process, but that's the idea here. And when it was all said and done, I really do love this game. I think visually it's gorgeous. I think music, the music in this game is fantastic. I actually have the soundtrack on vinyl, and that brings me to the point that I actually did play this game probably back in early 2020 maybe. I never finished it, but I really enjoyed what I played of it, and it stuck with me. But I figured it would be good to go back and go through the whole game here and finish it. And I will say there are 2 extra chapters, DLC chapters, that were released for free. However, I wasn't able to play those because you do have to go back and find these crystal hearts that are hidden in the game, I guess. I wasn't going to be doing that because by the time I finished the final regular chapter of the game, I was burned out. It's not that the game is I don't want to play it anymore type, feeling. It's more like, that last run especially is brutal, and it takes everything out of you. So I think at the end of the day, if you passed on this game, if you never heard of it, I would recommend it. I mean, like I said, if you like those kind of brutal platformers, I really think this is one of those ones that sticks with you for the long haul. Yeah, cheers to Celeste and to many more. Whatever the fuck that means. Ooh, kala boom boom.